Good evening, Francesca Canzano-Franklin here, connected from Hong Kong and interviewing a series of wellness professionals globally on behalf of Global Wellness Day, happening, save the date, Saturday the 8th of June. This evening, I have the biggest pleasure of talking to Heidi Grimwood, Vice President of Atmosphere Wellness and the Elena Spa Group. Hello, Heidi, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. It's so lovely to chat with you.
Likewise. So nice. Now, people want to hear from you. So I have a few questions planned. And I know, you and I could be talking for forever time, but let's see where the conversation will take us. The main question that I've been asking everyone is, what does wellness means to you personally?
Wellness means so many different things to me, I think. I think it takes me right back to my younger years. And I went through it, like I battled with my weight as a youngster, and that's how I kind of got into this whole industry and everything. So wellness to me was always about feeling healthy and, looking after my body and eating right. So from a young age, I learned that, that I had to keep my body well. But I know that I've got my own discipline, and I know not everybody is like me. I used to work in the gyms. Obviously, I've worked in spa and wellness forever, and everybody has their own way. So for me and myself, I have a lot of discipline with wellness. But it's also happiness, because even if you have great health, if you're not happy with it, then there's nothing there, so it's about what creates happiness around you as well. And like you, having my family around me is so important, and that brings me mental wellness as well, because I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happy, and it's that love and stimulation you get from your family. So many different elements, I think. But yeah, I don't like to just put it in a box and say, you must eat vegan, you have to do this, you have to do that, because I think that wellness has to have a balance of everything. There's some mornings, I mean, it's not often, but there are some mornings when I go, "Oh, do you know what? I don't want to get up and exercise." And I listen to my body, because my body feels tired. And I say, and it's not mentally, it's my body feels tired. Listen to it and relax, But you still need to have those little indulgences. You need to still have fun with it and enjoy some nice food. Like, I eat a lot of vegetarian and vegan food now. But again, there's nothing stopping me eating a big old steak sometimes as well. So I think wellness to me is very much about getting balance, and making sure that there's balance in my life. Too much of one or the other, I found, doesn't work for me. Some people it does, but it doesn't work for me. So I think if I put it in a nutshell, wellness to me is balance.
Couldn't agree more. And I love this. Life should be balanced. Like in Chinese medicine, this is what we say, it's the yin and yang and balance in life. Beautiful. So this year's Global Wellness Day theme is actually nature. So magenta nature.
Yeah.
How do you implement within your personal life, but also within the business and the teams, the element of nature?
Well, of course, Elena, is the elements of nature. So everything that we do in our creation, is all to do with connecting back to nature. But I suppose me joining the company about 4 years ago now, the reason why it connected so close to me is because I'm very much, I do an NLP at the moment, actually, and it's all about, like, what triggers you most. And for me, actually, I never realized that visual is a big trigger for me. Visual is more important than I actually ever realized. And so being, like, I'm in the Maldives now, so I'm looking at those beautiful turquoise waters, being in County Kerry Island, where I used to live, where we're surrounded by beautiful mountains and lakes. It's that stimulation of back to nature, back to the earth, that just gets me really happy. And actually, recently, and I'd been to Nepal maybe about 20 years ago, and recently I went back, reconnected, took my husband, and I didn't realize how much peace it was going to bring me just being there. We weren't doing much, I mean, we went hiking, but other than that, like, it was just being in that space just brought me such peace and tranquility. So I think it's so important. But again, everyone's different. Not everybody loves the water. Not everybody loves being, rural or in the mountains or whatever. We need to find what works for us. But yeah, I mean, everything that we do in our business is about nature. So like even this new property I'm in right now, we're kind of relaunching, reopening 4th of July. And actually the way the resort has been designed, we're actually in nature, which is strange for us because usually all the resorts are designed to see the ocean everywhere. And here our spa is in the jungle, everything's forest. So we kind of went, oh, this is great now. We need to step out of what we are so used to. And now we're going to see what nature is around us. And actually, we've really immersed ourselves quite beautifully with all of that. And now we're not even looking for the water anymore, if that makes sense. We're saying there's so much right here that we can actually like work with and utilize. And we don't necessarily need those sea views per se. So yeah, it's nature's just amazing. Yeah. But I think again, it's only amazing if it connects with you, you know. If it doesn't, don't force yourself.
Totally. And what about your teams? I mean, the business, wow, you know, Elena, Elements of Nature, that's just magnificent. What about with your staff, your therapists, your management teams, and so on?
In what way? Like, what do they connect with, or?
Yeah, like how do you implement the element of nature with them as well? Do you feel that they're all connected to the element of nature, or is it like, is there something that you can do to assist them? You know, it must be quite shocking for some people coming over to the Maldives and being surrounded by all this beautiful greenery and blue skies and everything. It must be quite difficult for you to kind of find extra ways of supporting them.
Yeah, I think we have a wellness ambassador in every property. It's a voluntary role. So it's just one of our team, not just, it is one of our team members who has volunteered to basically lead the team and do daily and weekly wellness activities. And then we also have, which we never, it wasn't intentional, but it's just happened so beautifully. Then we implemented a sustainable ambassador. So the sustainable ambassador is in charge of looking after all the sustainability initiatives in the spa to make sure that we are being as much 360 as possible. And, you know, being in the Maldives where it's very difficult, you know, everything that is any waste that's on the island has to physically come off, you know, so there's so much work, you know, involved in this. So what we try to do is reduce that waste. And when we tasked them with this, and obviously in the early stages, we gave them monthly activities and ideas. Now, oh my gosh, they send a little PowerPoint presentation, which actually we never asked for, but they do it off their own will every month about new creations that they've done. But it's all linked back to wellness and nature, you know, so we're utilizing what's around us. And so, yeah, I think that giving them activities and immersing them into the nature and getting them to really embrace it, it takes away from that kind of what I call the island fever of, oh goodness, I can't get off the island easily. Like, it's not like you can just walk down to the local town and, you know, there's nothing around you, you know, you've got your little staff city, as we call it, but other than that, there's nothing else. So for us being able to kind of implement these for their tasks and activities, obviously it's benefiting the guest experience, but it's also kind of giving them a distraction as well. But I'm just blown away by how they've just connected everything back to wellness and nature. They've brought it beautifully together. So whereas in the beginning the ambassadors were kind of separate roles, they're now like a team together, which is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so nature is being utilized in so many amazing ways here. Like we wanted some like little baskets. The girls were talking, they wanted some little baskets for display. And they said, we're not going to buy it. Let us see what we can make. And they got the banana leaves. And then they made the most beautiful, when you come next, I'll give you one, because they're just gorgeous. Now everybody wants these baskets. And they make the most beautiful baskets just out of banana leaves, you know? And so it's their creativity and creation, but we're using all the nature around us to be able to bring this beauty in there. So yeah, I'm just in awe of them. They're amazing.
I know this was a difficult question because majority of us are not based in the Maldives, surrounded by such beauty, but it's incredible how you can actually in every single department that element of nature. So thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Thank you.
But you see as well, like we thought that because like we're now gone into India with our properties, and so we were like, oh gosh, we're going to be in an urban spa, we're going to be here, we're going to be there. We're in the middle of the desert in one of our spas, and we're like, okay, how are we going to reconnect all of this stuff that we've created here? How do we connect that in that indigenous environment? But actually, when you've already got that mindset, you can get into that space. Like you can get into that beautiful nature space. And even like in Kolkata, where we're going to have a spa, all right, it's not going to be as earthy as what we have here in the Maldives or the one in Jamnagar, because they're different concepts, but we're still able to reconnect very much with nature, even on a small way. So there are ways of doing it, definitely. It's just switching your mindset around it, I think, really.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We'll have to find out more in future conversations with you. Maybe the next one could be on sustainability.
We have so many things to chat about.
I know, I know.
Yes.
Now, for Global Wellness Day, do you have anything planned? Tell us, please tell us.
We have lots planned.
Oh, I wish you
So
there.
excited. Yeah, so every year we do activities. We do activities for the teams, and we also do activities with our guests as well. So we have 8 properties here in the Maldives, and every property, they've designed their own wellness day activity. We connect with the chefs. The chefs will do beautiful plant-based cuisines as well. Maybe it's just like our luxury properties, there'll be menus, and then our 5-star properties, then there'll be a nice wellness corner, and they just do these beautiful little kind of plant-based tasters and things there. And then back to nature, they're planting. Every property they're planting, because we have a spa garden in every property. So again, they're not doing the same. I know one property wants to look at sugarcane, one's looking at aloe vera. Like there's so many different things they're planting. And what they'll do is they'll invite the guests in, and they're gonna, and we'll share it with you as well. So they're going to get the guests in, and they're going to plant it, and then there'll be a lovely little name tag on there with that guest that's planted, and when they come back to us, they can see how it's grown and everything. So yeah, I don't try to kind of put every one of them in the same box and say we're going to do the same thing. I let them come up with their own creativity, because it has to come from the heart. Like it has to come from what they're passionate about. So yeah, every property is doing some really beautiful things this year. Really excited.
Can't wait to see. Make sure that you tag us as well. Of course, please do
Yes.
tag Global Wellness Day with the hashtag of Global Wellness Day. But then in the Maldives, you have your own account, Global Wellness Day Maldives, which I will connect you later on, so that everyone is globally connected. Now,
I love it. Thank you.
I know, my pleasure. Final question, even though you and I could be talking, like I said, for forever time, is do you have any personal advice, any tips on how to start on the wellness journey, or even to implement more nature, considering that unfortunately we're not all living in the Maldives?
The wellness journey. Like I say, I think it's different for everyone. And I think we've just got to stop putting it in a box.
Yeah.
And obviously what we run with here is the Wellness Your Way thing. So the Wellness Your Way theme is, let's look at what makes you happy. There's no point in putting somebody on a wellness journey, or someone starting a wellness journey and every day going, oh, I'm miserable, because there's no happiness, there's no joy, there's no wellness there. So I would say to everyone, find out what makes you happy, what makes you feel good. Look, if you're on a bit of a junk food binge at the moment, just make small changes. If you're having really like high fat foods every single day, just make a small change. Maybe start with breakfast, and just bring it. And then what will happen is your body will crave more of the good stuff as it gets used to it. It's not going to be a massive change, but taking all of that stuff out of your diet straight away will never work. All right, you're going into a mass detox, the body goes into shock, and then you're miserable and you feel rubbish. So baby steps with everything. And, people say to me, oh, you must meditate every day. And I'm like, no, I don't like meditation. Because to me, meditation is like, people think I'm going to be sitting on a rock somewhere, doing my arms. No, I do meditation when I do my group yoga classes, and I'm with my teams and everything. But my own meditation is very, very different. When I'm walking up a mountain, that's my own meditation, because for me, I'm taking one step in front of the other. I have to be present. Your breathing has to regulate. Your muscles have to relax, right? So that is your own form of meditation. The same with snorkeling. You go into water, the body's relaxed. You'll miss the beautiful green life. You have to regulate your breathing through the snorkeling. So find your own way is what I'm saying. Like, don't just put meditation in a box. Don't just put yoga in a box. There's so many different fitness and wellness trainers out there that will have their own techniques. Find something that you love. Like I follow, just on YouTube when I'm traveling, I follow Travis Elliott on YouTube. And I love his sessions. It's a 20-minute power session. It really resonates with me. He's got a beautiful energy and it just works for me. So everyone has to find their own journey and find out what works. But what I would say is that, yes, it does take a bit of discipline. But push yourself a little bit more, because I think we are quite easy to give up on things these days. And I think that you just push yourself and just take baby steps and you'll see much better results, because like this is not what we call a sprint. This is a marathon. It's a long journey, right? You're going to do 26K run or you're going to do a 5K run. Right? There's very different energy systems being worked there. So think of it as a marathon. It's the infinite game that you're looking at. If we're looking at the finite ending, that's where it doesn't work. So think of it as a nice long journey, and yeah, then wellness will come much easier to you, definitely.
I couldn't agree more. I love this. So
and smile. Just
yes,
smile.
Smiling. So true, Heidi. So
It really, do you know what? I walk around and I do my walks in the morning in the resorts and I say hello to people and I smile at them and they're so delighted that, do you know, they're so delighted that I've said hello, and you smile, they smile back. It makes you feel really good.
it's so very true. You know, it kind of sets, you know, you smile and people smile back. Couldn't agree more. Stunning. Yeah. But thank you so much. You reminded us about balance, about how to incorporate more nature, and about pushing ourselves a little bit to get started into the journey of wellness. It's so very important. And I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
I'll not put wellness into a box. Well, Heidi, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And I'm looking forward.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Planned for Global Wellness Day, and happy Global Wellness Day, and hope to see you soon. Yeah. Thank you.
See you soon. Thank you, Francesca.
My pleasure. Take care.